on in a flash.
They played the mash.
They played the monster mash.
I'm Luke Summerhaze.
I'm James G. Miles.
I'm Andrew Rice.
I'm James the Jester Stewart.
And you're listening to Monster Mash.
And in this week's episode, we're hunting, well, pretty much most of the small monsters in the game. So I think we've got 16 in total you're going to be hearing about here today, so strap in for that.
Yeah, I've not included the guys like the Praise that we've already covered in big episodes, and there's a few that I'm saving for later, but should be fun.
But first off, we start...
Conchu!
Oh!
Neopterons that travel widely for food and can survive in almost any environment. Conchu roll into balls both to protect themselves and to fend off threats. Their sturdy shells are fairly easy to procure and are highly prized by armourers.
So I have any small monster on this list. These guys top the list for being pricks.
They're also absolute bants, though.
I
They are
don't agree that
hilarious.
they're the worst.
They are hilarious, but I hate them.
Little,
I like a little animation they do when like it looks like they're waving at you because they're just like wiggling about,
yeah,
and then they roll into a ball. That's it.
I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. And then roll
little
at you.
woodlouse motherfuckers.
Yeah. Talks about like they roll into a ball to protect themselves, but then just fucking Cuckoo comes along and gobbles them all like.
Yeah, that's what it's not.
like it's not really doing much help there for you lads, you know. Just making yourself into like little Maltesers for the Conchu.
Yeah, for the cuckoo.
Yeah, Cuckoo, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah, they are the country.
They don't eat each other.
Well, we don't, not that we know of, anyway.
They're like Russian dolls, like just absorb
That would be
themselves. Tiny small conchu inside the
Oh,
bell.
that'd be so cute. Imagine a baby Conchu like inside of a mummy Conchu's... Conchu?
What?
Is that what you
Just
call
decided,
it?
I
Inside
just
of it,
decided that conchuing is also like the action that they do to
Secret
roll
pouch.
into a ball.
Right, I see. Okay, Andy.
I think one thing I really like about the Conchu as well is that they can basically become impromptu armor for big monsters as well.
Yeah.
Just like clinging
Mm.
onto them.
Nothing worse though when like they land on the head of a monster and like that's the area you want to hit and then you just bounce off it because of it.
Mm-hmm. That's why they're annoying.
But they...
Like,
Go on. You go first.
there's a video you have to link, which is the Monster Hunter 4U.
It's not in the document. You can't talk about it.
That's also what I was going to talk about.
Go on then. You
No,
tell me.
for like I said, for each of these monsters, I quickly put their name into YouTube just to make sure we weren't missing anything. But like, there's a lot of videos of just Conchus being really funny, like just taking people out right before they're about to hit a monster. Or there's a great one where Conchu rolls at him and he boots it at the Zenogre and kills the Zenogre.
Yeah.
And then there's the animation, which I think you're about to talk about.
Yes, the animation where it details how annoying they can be in 4U. Oh, what game did they start? Was it 4 they came into?
4 Ultimate, yeah.
4 Ultimate,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'd say so.
They're also another one of the small monsters that you can make armor pieces from. Like
Mhm.
braces and I think
Yeah.
a helmet in later games you could make a conchu helmet.
It makes sense because they've got like pretty tough shells. So
That's why it's in the description, isn't it?
good
So
boy.
they do pick them up to get their own wee cutscene in 4U where like they surround the hunter and the hunter
Mm.
looks scared for a minute before realising, oh hang on, they're just like slightly tough woodlouse.
I think in real life I'd be more scared to be surrounded by these bastards than to be attacked by like one dinosaur, to be honest.
What?
Because they're fucking creepy looking bug things.
Yeah, but dinosaurs can fucking eat you.
Yeah, but I mean, just in terms of what would scare me.
Oh, it's just a Tigrex battling to monster. That's no biggie.
Yeah, that's
Conchu!
absolutely
Run!
I
It's
would
just like,
never.
"Oh, Tigress, let me pet it."
Yeah, I'll never be able to run away from this Tigrex. So what's the point of being scared? You know?
Yeah, exactly. Just embrace it.
What, death?
Death by Tigrex, yeah. I mean, if you're gonna
That's the
go,
way to go.
The Laranoth. These giant herbivores are peaceful towards hunters unless they're young or threatened. Their long necks let them eat hard-to-reach leaves and nuts, which they may drop if attacked while feeding, and eat constantly to maintain their size. They also have unique sound-producing organs.
What?
I think that means the funny thing they got in their head.
Does that make noise?
Yeah. You can, like, it's the same as the Gargoyle, like, mask. You can make a Laranoth mask as well, and it also does, like, a weird noise every time you roll or attack.
The Laranoff mask's really funny as well, because it's like your head is in the neck, so it makes your head really tall.
Yeah, typically if I was, like, making, like, a gathering set, like, a plop, like, a Laranoth, like, mask or the Gargoyle mask on, like, just to make it look funny.
Yeah.
So I've got something to kind of laugh at when I'm gathering materials.
They are funny wee guys as well. As you alluded to earlier on, the Laranoff are generations is essentially their Aptonos.
Yeah. I sort of feel jealous for anyone who didn't play it until Double Cross, and then got to have that moment of just walking into that area on their big TV and seeing these massive, like, long-necked dinosaurs walking about. Because they're pretty impressive.
They are,
Like, if you
yeah.
see them like that, like, it's not that often in big games that you have just, like, massive things walking about.
Mhm.
But, like, obviously by the stage we're at Monster Hunter, we're sort of used to them.
Didn't we basically also say that they're, like, joke that they're basically a baby version of Alatreon? Because their heads are the same.
Yeah, we brought that up on the.
Got that weird quiff going on.
So he shouldn't be in this episode then. So let's move on.
Mufa! Small herbivores that can be found on the deserted island. Their soft, high-quality fur has been used since ancient times, in clothing and ceremonial tools, and can be shaved off of them with cutting weapons. They are docile and raised as livestock in many regions.
I like petting the Mufa.
Mufas are great.
Yeah. They are essentially sheep, and it's
They
fantastic.
are no poogie though.
No.
What,
But
what's the one called? Muffy is the little one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but they're like
Little lamb.
somewhere between like a sort of a sheep and a alpaca or a llama.
Or a deer.
Or a goat.
Am I right in saying that like the Mufa and Double Cross and you can actually kill them and you weren't able to in Generations, or were you always able to kill them?
No, you could always kill
Yeah, I
them.
think you could always kill them.
Because like you get the lower rate on carve if they're dead for the fur that you need for the quest.
Yep. Which you need to use with a sharp weapon. Drops that wee shiny. You get a little explosion of floof as well when you hit them.
Certainly do.
Yeah.
Which is great.
They're great. I like them.
Yeah, nice wee guys, eh?
And then there's the whole plot all the way through Generations, where she's trying to come up with a way to attract people to the village, and she decides that it's the cuteness of the Mufas that will do it.
Yeah.
And it probably is.
What
I
kind of
would want to
their,
go there just to see the Mufas.
Would you want one of them as a pet, Andy?
You know, not as much. But
Right, actually, do you know what the title for the Mufa is?
What?
Cloud Sheep Deer.
What's the deer? People do not have a clue what a fucking deer is, do they? This is ridiculous.
I think you find a Mufa's more like a moose than a deer.
I actually think the Mufa is a bit more goat-like. Popo. Herd-forming herbivores covered in thick fur to endure the cold. Popo are gentle, but known to use their massive tusks bravely when defending their young. Popo meat is very nutritious. The tongue is said to be especially palatable.
Yeah, but it didn't mention in that description that they're actually a lot like deer.
Well, apparently these are the male.
These are the male gammas.
Yeah, so they shouldn't be in this one either.
Popo drone. I like Popo. Basically, they're woolly mammoths, essentially. Just obviously
More toned down ones.
than the bloody mammoth. Yeah. What's other animal like in real life that people talk? Is it ox tongue? Ox tongue, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're quite oxy, aren't they? Yeah, I can see them as oxen.
I mean, no.
You can see them as a goat. I squint my eyes a little bit and then...
Can you generally not see them like... I don't know, they kind of remind me of Highland cattle, like that sort of thing.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
They've got
I'll
like
give
the
you
big
that.
canal, usually got a big hump on their back.
Yeah.
Like an ox.
I'll give you that.
Well, they don't have the trunk of an elephant-y type monster, so they are. Yeah, I could see him as some sort of shaggy cow thing.
Healing goo.
But I think we've talked about this before as well. It's really nice how they will sometimes help you with the big monster before they leave.
Yeah, just come and like give him a shunt and then run off.
Yeah. Top lads, Popo, top lads.
Yeah. Oh, you can get one in stories as well. That was a nice treat.
Mm.
In the second area. Nice wee Popo.
My Popo is still like probably my strongest monster. He's fucking badass.
I mean, I don't
And,
know about that, but
They were brought in Monster Hunter 2 as well, which reinforces that whole thing that it seems to be Monster Hunter 1 was all reptiles and Monster Hunter 2 was all mammals.
Plus, Monster Hunter 2 was all about the snowy area, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Like Arctic Ridge and that, weren't it?
Mm-hmm.
because it had the monkeys and what have you.
It was Poke Village. That was the village in
Yeah.
2.
Remobra. Small but agile flying deer that seek out weakened creatures to attack. Often seen near elder dragons, they're considered a portent of disaster.
Can I try that
What
again?
the fuck is that?
Portent of disaster.
I don't know what that means. They're considered a portent of disaster. The discovery of Najarala led to their reclassification as snake wyverns. Is that actually in their official description?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they changed it because they used to be something else.
They used to be flying wyverns, now
it's
they're
flying wyverns,
snake
yeah,
wyverns.
That's it. I knew that they had been recategorised, but yeah.
Yeah, it's fun that it's got
I don't like
mentioned.
these guys, they're nasty, nasty bastards.
Chucking poison everywhere, eh?
Yeah, chuck poison when you're trying to mine ore, and then when you do kill them, they'll fly down and eat their own kind.
But yeah, the thing where they're like the harbinger of an elder dragon coming is pretty cool touch.
Mm.
Yeah. That started off with was that not in 4U, like the Darmaran at the start? It has like Remobra flying over where the Darmaran like erupts out the sand.
Yeah, I think they do that in earlier games as well though. Like because is it right like the normal areas are suddenly empty because there's an elder dragon coming and the only thing there is Remobras. On Thunder
Pretty
2 they
spooky when
came
you
in.
think about it.
Yeah. And we've definitely talked before about how they look like the things the Nazgul ride in Lord of the Rings.
Actually, that's a really interesting point as well about them being in areas around Elder Dragons, because just thinking about 4U, the main area you find them in is Heaven's Mount, and obviously
Mhm.
that's where the Shagru comes to nest, like
Yeah.
essentially just off there. So naturally they're harbingers of that.
The Renatblos. Extremely territorial herbivores with poor vision but acute hearing. Renatblos will doggedly pursue any target they sense. They often run into boulders, perhaps because they cannot easily stop once they break into a run.
See, these are the ones I'd consider to be the annoying.
Yeah,
say
these are
that.
the very I was saying other ones were annoying, but these are probably the most annoying out of all the small monsters.
I've definitely been like literally carted by a Renoplos more than once, so
I've never had that happen.
like not on its own, but like I've been dealing with something else.
On its own, no.
Oh yeah, when you get
take
stunned from
down.
it and then a big monster comes and swipes over and finishes
Or
you
the
off.
big monster like doesn't quite kill you, and then Renoplos just finishes you off from behind. Little dickheads.
They're just big idiots, aren't they? Just like charging
But
the
it
walls.
says it there anyway
towards
because
it.
they just like once they start running, they don't know how to stop, so they're kind of happy that they run into a wall or a person because it stops them.
Oh, but
Yeah,
probably
but they
got-
also have poor vision, so maybe that's just it. Maybe it's not they can't stop; they just think that they're still charging at their target and
Get
just crash
stripped
into anything.
from something and they just start running.
maybe they got brain damage from running into walls so much.
Well, they've got very hard heads, but yeah, even that's probably only goes so far.
They're gonna hit their head, the brain will still shake about.
Well, but if you hit their head, then you just like bounce off it, don't you? So you know, it's
If you hit their head,
it's
you
bu- it's
cleave
built
into their
for
skull
defense.
and like kill them.
no, you don't. You bounce.
Nah, you've got your weapon sharp enough.
No, I'm pretty sure you just bounce, don't you?
Nah, you can cut into the head if.
I'm sure you can get sharp enough to cut it, but
Trust me, I've studied the blade. I know this.
Ready for the apocalypse.
That's one. Yeah,
But,
I really hate these guys as well. They burrow in the ground as well. Have you noticed that? Like when they come out of when they respawn, like, they actually burrow out of the ground to come back into the area.
I did notice that. Correct.
you know, there's a DLC quest in Monster Hunter 4U where you fight a giant Renoplos.
That's funny.
It's yeah, pretty bonkers, like a fucking big Triceratops thing.
Do they get more health, or does it go down just?
The video I just watched, he killed it in like 3 hits. I don't
Right,
think
so
so.
probably not.
I mean, he was using barrel bombs, so they would have been doing a fair bit of damage. But
Still, like that's probably not as hard as a normal big monster. Then.
the quest is called Renoplos of Death.
Nice. Don't oversell it, guys.
I've got a lot of time for that.
Renoplos of death.
See, I enjoy it if that guy just like 1 in 1,000 times just turned up, like where you're expecting normal Renoplos is. That'd be really fun.
Like a fucking.
And then
Deathlock.
just sort of ate a Baroth hole. That's what I want to see. Him just open his mouth and a Baroth to run straight into it. Beautiful.
what's he called? I've forgotten his name. Big sand guy.
He.
Oh,
my
Nibblesnarf.
Sandman.
Nibblesnarf. I can't believe I forgot that guy's name.
Oh, yeah.
Not like it's a memorable name or anything.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
The slagtoth. Herbivores that live in coastal areas. Their heavy, sagging hides store nutrients and are prized for their heat and water resistance. The males are quite territorial, often refusing to flee from even invading wyverns.
Do you know I was talking about the Rhinopolos being idiots? These guys feel like even more idiots. They just sit
I like
there
these
and
guys.
look
So
at
British.
them.
they remind me of like big stupid dogs.
They're just really goofy. Aren't they?
Not more hippo-ish than dog.
No,
but
they're-
like just like like the way they act, like they just like remind me of any like dogs that I've had like growing up that like just act like daft.
And their
Yeah,
face
he's-
reminds me of like Droopy.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They just look miserable, don't they? Like carrying about these big bloody like sacks of flesh on their side.
Oh, don't fat shame, Jay.
Wow.
Do you not
Beautiful endpoint.
do you not get like oil from them and everything as well?
Yeah.
Slugged off oil.
What a horrible existence! Like killed by all oil barons. Like
Do you get many oil barons in the Monster Hunter
yeah,
universe?
absolutely. How do you think they power all their like gunland?
Basically, fucking whales on 4 legs.
It's miserable existence. We were doing them a favour.
Yeah, probably. Oh, the poor old slagtoth. At least it never knew what was coming. They're also another one where we found a great video when I put slagtoth into YouTube.
I think. Yeah.
I'm assuming it's not related to a
No, it is.
No, it is. It is.
Oh, okay.
I'm
We're
not
not
going
gonna
to say
explain.
anything, but
No.
do yourself a favour, look in the show notes and watch slagtoth.mp4 on YouTube.
I think if any video is like .mp4 or .wav, like just as a title on YouTube, it's gonna be funny.
That's a hot tip from James J. Moyles.
So yeah, so that's all the small monsters covered there. For the nearly. There's a few we haven't touched on because we'll be bringing them up in their respective big monster quest and later on.
But
I'm assuming it's just small monsters from Generations, right?
yeah. So we've now
Yeah.
pretty much covered every monster in Generations.
Nearly, pretty much. Next week, you won't hear our voices being recorded live, as you'll hear a little selection of outtakes that Luke has collated. And let's put it this way: I'm both fearing and looking forward to that episode of what's going to be kicking.
Some of it will be brand new, some of it will be extended versions of things listeners have heard before. So I think it should be good fun. I don't think there's anything too embarrassing.
I think, from
Dunno,
what I've
man.
heard, I think Andy's going to come out worse.
Yes.
Yep.
It's going to be the episode with the most Andy, that's for sure. Don't worry, I'm not going to include the time that all of us repeatedly said the word.
God damn it!
That's another time I'm going to have to beep it.
Right, and then after that, we're going to be jumping into For You.
Yeah, we're going to... There's a few monsters that are in Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate which aren't in Generations to Double Cross, so we'll hopefully get some episodes on all of them done before we move on to the Double Cross monsters.
Having said that, it is giving me a real concern for time to get to G rank to fight one of them. So,
So you might see some shuffling of the order between now and then.
potentially. Just keep posted.
But yeah,
Until then, look, where can they find us?
we're on Twitter at Monster Mash Pod. We're on YouTube, iTunes, Facebook, all of that stuff. Search for Monster Mash Podcast. And do give us a like and subscribe and tell all your friends. And please tweet at Andyman949 whether you think it's a deer or a goat.
Pictures of slags. Toss.
I mean, I get enough pictures of slags as it is, you know. That's spots for you.
And until then, thank you for listening.
See ya!
Bye.